and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. The Big Machine Vodka 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the last race of the regular season in NASCAR. The playoffs begin next week. We have 2 spots left for the playoff. We have 16 drivers that are eligible to make those 2 spots. There was some breaking news yesterday on September 4th, on Tuesday, that Furniture Row Motorsports is closing its doors at the end of the season. Martin Truex Jr. does not have a ride. That's huge news for the defending Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champion, and possibly to win this year, not having a ride next year. Some amazing news there. I know Bernie Visser had a heart attack last year, had some health issues. I don't know if it's that or if it's, financial, but when they were kind of the bottom tier team before they teamed with Joe Gibbs, they were still had the Furniture Row. He sponsored it himself, so I don't know what's behind it. I didn't read what was behind it or anything, but it's just sad to see a Cup team leave. NASCAR needs to go back to before. A few years back, there was no limit on how many teams an owner could have, and they made the limit 4. We all know Jack Roush got grandfathered in because he had 5, and then he just eventually went down to 2. They need to get rid of that limit again. It needs to be no limit. That way, if Gibbs or Hendrick or one of these teams wants to have 5, let them have 5. If they can find a driver and sponsor, but now we have a championship driver without a ride going into the next year. I think Daniel Suarez's contract may be up in the 19, so I can see possibilities of Truex in there. Does somebody else make a move? Does Penske add a 4th team to try to get Truex? Who knows what's going to happen? A lot's going to go down here in the playoffs. The last race of the playoffs this year in Indianapolis, one of the oldest tracks in America. All right, so we have the Big Machine Vodka 400 miles, 160 laps on this 2.5 mile track. 3 stages, 50, 50, 60. Defending winner is Casey Kane. Last year, Kyle Busch won the pole, won stage 1, won stage 2. Casey Kane integrated the victory. The top 10 last year, we had Casey Kane, Brett Keselowski, Ray Newman, Joey Logano, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Daniel Suarez, Mike DiBenedetto, Chris Buescher, and then AJ Allmendinger ran out the top 10. To me, right now, this race isn't about who's going to win it. It's more about who's going to make the playoffs. Right now, locked into the playoffs for 2018, Kyle Busch, 6 wins. All he's after is bonus points right now, because you remember all those bonus points, you keep them until the finale. Kevin Harvick, 7 wins. He did lose 1 win due to his incumbent victory. I think is the fucking dumbest thing NASCAR ever came up with. If you get penalized and you're going to take the victory away for playoffs, completely take the victory away. Martin Truex, 4 wins, Clint Bowyer, 2 wins, and then Kurt Busch, Joe Logano, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon all have 1 win. And then Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Eric Almirola have clinched on points. That leaves 2 spots held right now by Hendrick Motorsports drivers Jimmy Johnson and Alex Bowman. They have, point-wise, nobody can beat them on points, no matter what happens here at Indy. But there is a group of drivers who are in the top 30 in points that don't have a win, that if they were to win, they would bump either Jimmy Johnson or Alex Bowman out of the playoff. So if the scenarios there's a 20-point difference between Jimmy Johnson and Alex Bowman, 19 points. So that's 19 positions on the racetrack. So if you think about it that way, if Jimmy finishes 40th, one of these other drivers win, Alex Bowman's in the top 15, Bowman makes the playoffs, the driver who won makes the playoffs, Jimmy's going home. The drivers that are eligible for the playoffs, if they win here at Indy, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Newman, Paul Menard, Daniel Suarez, Jimmy McMurray, Casey Kane, last year's winner, who's going to retire at the end of 2018. William Byron Jr., or William Byron, Chris Butcher, AJ Allmendinger, David Reagan, Michael McDowell, Darrell Wallace Jr., Ty Dillon, Mike DiBenedetto. That's intriguing. Daniel Suarez, Mike DiBenedetto, Chris Butcher, Boucher, AJ Allmendinger all finished in the top 10 last year. Can one of those drivers pull out an amazing victory at Indy and make the playoffs? I don't think so. My 3 picks to win the Big Machine Vodka 400 is either Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, or Martin Truex Jr. I think Jimmy Johnson and Alex Spellman will make the playoffs. I think there's really going to be no dramaticness with that. I think that's going to be boom, 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 done. That's how it's going to work. When the playoffs do begin after next week, I will have a playoff preview and my predictions for all 4 rounds of playoffs, along with the first race of the playoffs preview. All that on the Robert Sports Show coming next week. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.